Sweet Baby's back again with a tantrum to throw.
A responsibility taken. Yeah, we already know.
Contradictions on repeat with zero remorse.
Calling out YouTubers while leaving no recourse.
So Kim Belair was recently a guest on Black Game Pro Session, and I have edited it down to 12 minutes, so you do not have to sit through it the 3 times that I had to. I sat through this thing 3 times, okay?
Master always has to suffer. Kim Belair, for your benefit, please give us a subscription for that, if nothing else.
We have 12 minutes of her talking, admitting to a bunch of different things, and attacking YouTubers, but she makes specific claims when she mentions YouTubers, which makes it very clear which YouTubers she's talking about. And guess what, guys? It's us.
Oh, yes.
She's calling us out, guys.
So let me read a quick introduction of who this wonderful person is. She is the co-founder and narrative lead at Sweet Baby Inc. She worked on some truly special games, like, for example, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Alan Wake 2, Sable, Afterlaw VP, and Winter Burrow, and also Far Cry.
Boo!
She comes from inside the industry, knows what it actually takes to ship games.
Lots of tomatoes.
Build a company that cares deeply about story, perspective, and the people behind the work. Her approach to narrative and representation is thoughtful, practical, and grounded in real creative craft. So who am I talking about, you might ask? Well,
it can't be Kim, because Kim doesn't do any of those things.
In case you don't know, I'm talking about Kim Belair. So let me bring to the stage the amazing, the magnificent Kim Belair. Hello!
Hello!
Hello! I'm gay, by the way.
Simp alert.
By the way, as I mentioned, Kim in large doses can be known to be lethal to your brain cells. So for the good of your brain and everybody else's, including my own, I have edited this down. So we'll be skipping around. And you know what? If you want the full context and you want to watch the whole thing, go do it. I don't care.
It's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
Not too bad on this chill day in Montreal.
There's a question from
a question. It's a Gamnick question.
Chris Awkward. What was it like writing for South at Midnight? So it's a little bit of a left turn here.
So South at Midnight, we worked on, I think, in 2021, 22, maybe. Mm-hmm. I think that was, or 22 and 23. Apologies for my memory. It is not good, but
it's not the only thing that ain't good about you, Kim. Also, hey, I love your hair, Kim. Are you going for that Sideshow Bob look?
I didn't do much writing for South of Midnight. My team did, which was Cameron Wild, Spencer Ballu, Lisa Atto, and James Wright, I believe, and Will Harry as well. But I did a lot of story work. I worked on a lot of the treatment and the overarching story for South of Midnight with that team.
Yep. So again, if she ever says, we don't do story, we only consult, she just mentioned she did the story for South of Midnight. By the way, want to make very clear, guys, do you know, hey, honey, do you want to tell them how the character in South of Midnight gets their powers? Do you want to tell them?
Wasn't it a black character getting her powers by picking cotton? That's not racist at all.
And the answer is it was cool, weird, and really an interesting project, I think.
It's easy to point fingers. You know how it goes, Kim. It's easy. I mean, in the end, if the game is great, and we had a conversation before we went live, if the game is good, the game is good. If the game is shit, yeah, well, then okay, the game is shit. And that's what happens.
We're all good. Like, if you work on a lot of games, you're going to make some great ones, you're going to make some terrible ones.
Hey, Kim. Hi. Question from the audience. You've only made 2 games that have actually been profitable. So,
but those games are only profitable because they were attached to larger IPs. Alan Wake 2 took over a year to break even.
Yeah. And I think that the idea that any of that would be tied to whatever like culture war BS is happening is entirely false. We see it over and over again. If you make something that's a really fantastic product, it will go. And that's not to say that there aren't like great games that get overlooked or that get mistreated or whatever it is, but I think that we can't live in fear of a reactionary crowd unless
It's art.
Yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't be scared to.
You're welcome,
art.
internet.
So in 23, we had Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2 come out within a week of each other. And that was enough to kick off a years-long conspiracy theory about us because we were making games woke or censoring games or doing whatever it is. It was largely just like racism, sexism, and all those other
because of course you guys have all the power to decide what direction these games, these multi-million-dollar projects will take. This company from Montreal will impact the entire world.
This tiny little group of people from Montreal trying to write video games together and happening to have a perspective that wants to bring in different kinds of stuff. We were seen as the most evil. Like they must be governed. Like they must be black rocks. We must be all these things. The government's it's a secret Canadian cabal.
Oh, government funding? Secret Canadian cabal? Oh, hi, Kim. Thanks for watching us. Hi.
Kim watches Gothic Therapy. Yay!
I speak Kimese. Listen. I'm going to communicate to the wild Kim in her natural habitat. Racism, sexism, bigots, diversity, antelope, Bowser. I'm a victim. I said hi, by the way. That was saying hi. And Kim. I need some help for this. There.
Oh?
We're studying the habitat of the wild Kim.
It was all insane, and it was like,
where do you think that came from, other than purely racist or bigotry?
It came from your filings for your company. You know, the ones that are publicly available. You know, the ones that I found online, publicly available, that list Terrence Jason Huberts as your co-founder. You know, those. It's clearly sexism, racism,
and that only
bigotry.
put Dave Bedard in there later.
It was a sequel to the original.
No one has your brains, my dear.
Answers like 4chan and the worst of the internet.
Yeah, guys, you know what caused Gamergate 2 and her harassment? 4chan. It has nothing to do with Chris Kindred going after Kabrutus Rambo and trying to get his Steam account removed. She will never mention this, ever.
She has never mentioned it, and she never will.
Yeah, she's never going to mention it. It's 4chan. 4chan doxed us. Also, by the way, I love this next part. She is going to say that someone called in a bomb threat on their behalf. Explain this one to me.
I can't, because it makes no sense.
So you're telling me that someone picked up the phone and said, "Hi, my name is Sweet Baby Inc., and I'm going to bomb you."
And all of that, like, I think, and it was funny because I think in that first week, I was like, I'm going to do a cheeky Google search for our name and see if anybody's talking about it. And 4chan was talking about us. It was like an early Google result, which should never be a thing. Like if 4chan's showing up early in your Google results,
there's something wrong.
Problem. And that was where I saw like pictures of myself, pictures of my co-founders, pictures of
God.
Did your co-founders include Terrence Jason Huberts? Oh, sorry. I can't help but keep mentioning that. By the way, that has been confirmed by an outside source that I cannot name. A source has come forward and confirmed that is the case. So any of you guys who didn't like our video about it and got mad because we couldn't prove it 100%, an outside source proved it, so you can cry into your Cheerios.
Addresses of my team, phone numbers.
Unlike some people.
That's at one point, months into this thing, like we got a call from the cops saying like, hey, they had to evacuate a building because a bomb threat was made on our behalf.
Yes, guys, you heard it correctly. They got a call from the police saying, hey, we want you to know we had to eradicate a building because someone called in on your behalf.
Evacuate, not eradicate.
Eradicate, evacuate, whatever.
Eradicate means destroy.
You know what I meant.
You probably said it in a Canadian French accent.
Oh, ho, ho. We are coming to bomb you. Ho, ho. I'm sorry. We are Sweet Baby. We are coming to bomb you. Ho, ho.
Oh God, make it stop.
So things like that took place, but truly it was like, yeah, the crux of it, the reason was that they believed we were changing all these video games and making them woke as some kind of program, versus, hey, try to come in as writers and narrative designers and say, we can do something more interesting with this, or what are you aiming to do?
Wait, I want you to see that. The goddess speaks. We are listening.
Simp!
You are a sad, strange little man. Shut up, Carl.
What is funny to me is that all of these projects hired us because they want to tell more compelling stories with more interesting characters.
And you ruined that. Wow. That's so great. They're like, hey, you want to tell more compelling stories? And you're like, did you ever think about making this character black? By the way, I want to point out that she said that they don't change things, and yet they come into things and go, hey, have you thought about changing this? I don't get it. How does this work, Kim? You say, no, we don't actually do this stuff, but then we actually do.
And that does not, for me, ever mean, hey, can you make sure this is not offensive, or can you censor this, or like, oh, we want to make everything soft and gentle. No, it's about, we want to tell this. But we were hired because internally they feared the backlash that would happen if they got it wrong.
Okay. And they were dumb for doing that. Your point?
So we try to bring it to a place. And then what's wild is we get blamed for the existence of these characters, for any part of these characters, for the texture of these characters. And the reality is that, like, no, it is always a collaborative effort. We are contractors. And more than that, we are respected for being able to do that work narratively and with our writing and our storytelling skills. Just having to deal with like thousands upon thousands of people telling lies about you, denigrating your work, reducing.
Okay, Kim, if you think we're telling us lies, could you point out some of them?
Yes, please, be specific.
We're waiting. She'll never point it out, by the way.
Of course she won't.
Reducing your work to the very thing that you hate. Like, because that's honestly one of the most frustrating parts of it for me, is that, like, I cannot stand tokenistic diversity. I cannot stand the falsehoods of like, oh, we're just going to be nice. I can't stand when you can see a game or a show and you can tell that they were afraid to do anything with their marginalized characters because they didn't want to be offensive. Because to me, that's not what you see in media that is made by the people being represented or with.
So in other words, if we see people, so media made by you because you're mixed, you're not actually black. Also, she says she doesn't like tokenistic stuff, but again, admits earlier on that she helped with South of Midnight and with the narrative and allows the black character to gain her superpowers by picking cotton. Not tokenistic at all. She hates it, guys. She hates it.
Make it make sense.
You usually see it in games, movies, TV shows made by a different group about them. And so it ends up being a flat, more boring representation. And it's deeply frustrating, I think, to have to explain.
Shut up, Carl. No one cares.
Like, even to people who genuinely support us, that like, oh no, we're not a DEI company. Our job is writing and narrative design.
Yeah, storytelling.
The unfortunate reality of our industry is that in anywhere where marginalized people are underrepresented, you're going to have people who want to ask us or want to ask people like us how they should move.
Okay, so people want to ask you, a mixed person, how black people should be represented.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all.
That's it. But I think that, like, there's so much BS around it that any real conversation about what we do and how we do it or why feels like it's been lost because.
Hi, Kim. I've offered multiple times to have you on and talk about this, and you've never responded. So what gives?
Ever.
Just want to say.
Scared of you.
She sees the cat ears, and she's like, oh my God, get out of here.
So much of it is just about shouting us down or saying that we're woke or just being hateful. And the amount of truths and more interesting stories I could tell about games. So I've got so many stories.
Oh, okay, Kim. So you're saying it's not the truth. Also, I have other much weirder stories I could tell about gaming. How does this prove your point at all? I'm waiting.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm. They are much more terrifying
Fruitcake with nuts.
Weird than anything to do with DEI or with wokeness or anything like that. Like, that is it. But I think that's the problem, or that's the frustration, right? If our voices get shut down, we can't actually speak any truth.
Also, if your voices get shut down, you also can't speak any lies like you're doing right now. I just want to mention, guys, the reason I say this with such confidence is notice how she hasn't mentioned this entire time about Chris Kindred or Cabrutus. It's because if she did, she'd have to admit that they kind of caused part of the problem they created. And she can't do that because that would mean that she's not a victim.
And we do know that it's kind of the reason Chris Kindred was fired.
I think that's very
Yeah, 100%.
It is not like it has not cost us work. That was terrifying. I thought
it's not cost you work except for the part where it's cost you work. Okay, bye.
Would, and especially in our industry's major dips, we saw like fewer content, and I'm like, oh god. But I think that what I have gained from this, at least, is an understanding of that noise and what it actually means. Because
do tell.
As I'm still
doesn't
here,
mean
I'm still working. We're still working together. We're still making video games, and we weren't abandoned by that. But it has given us a conversation that we can have very openly.
True.
Just to say, well, this is what happened. This is where we're at, and here's why we do this, and here's why we don't. And I think that it's also given me, at least, a perspective that's been helpful to share with other people who are starting to get this kind of hate. Because when I was getting it, and when our team was getting it, it was very important for us to lean on people who had been through Gamergate.
We all need somebody to lean on.
Here, lean on me. Lean on me. Lean on me,
I'll
dear.
be your
lean
husband.
On me.
Because I had seen and been a small part of Gamergate, but like nothing like anybody else who really were attacked by it. And so when I see,
excuse me,
it was so helpful for people to talk to us, to help us understand, like, hey, you're going to get through this. It's going to be fine, even though you feel insane. Yeah.
It's going to be fine, even though you feel insane. No, you are insane, Kim.
There was a bit there where I thought...
Yeah, her brain should be a case study.
Because I don't know if I want to make games for an audience who's going to hate me if I
don't know if I want to make games for an audience that's going to hate me. Well, guess what, Kim? Later on, you contradict yourself with saying this, too. Wait for it, guys. I don't have to say a thing. I'll let Kim talk to herself.
Do my job. And especially, and this is like, maybe this is my ego talking, but it's like, and they're going to hate me for reasons that have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Because if I write a bad video game, you're allowed to tell me.
Hey, Kim, you've written a lot of bad video games. I just told you. You gave me permission. No takebacks.
I could happily write a stinker, and I can write a great one. I can write whatever.
Wait, there's more.
Come for me on that. But like, to paint my
you cannot write a great one.
I think that like I have a fairly concisive perspective. I think I like to push the envelope a lot, to kind of have myself reduced publicly to this idea of like soft or weak, or like I just want wholesome. That was very frustrating. I think that made me go like, who am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Then I think once you realize that, oh no, I'm not. I've never been doing it for them, and they are not actually the audience.
Wait a minute, guys. So a minute ago, she says, I don't know if I want to make games for an audience that hates me. Then immediately follows it up with, oh no, they're not actually the audience. Which is it, Kim?
Most people and most hateful, but they're clearly not here for.
Yeah.
What I gotta do, so I can't be checking for them if they're not checking for me. But I think like I think also that's been something that time has taught me with all this harassment, is for all the people who have made videos, articles, and lots of money on talking about us, we've never been approached as humans.
You've never been approached as humans. But you know what?
Oh, dear.
I could start already, but you know what? I'm not going to, because with Kim, you should know this by now, guys, I don't have to say anything. She's going to contradict herself in a minute without me having to do anything.
Like, we'll get like some random YouTuber who goes like, you owe us a statement, or what is your statement on this? And it's like, who are you?
I don't know you.
Hi.
Sorry, pardon my French.
Yeah, so wait, she says, no one ever approaches us like humans, but we'll get YouTubers being like, hey, you need to make a statement on this. Sounds like approaching her like a human. And she goes, who do you think you are? I think we're people.
How many times have you approached her as a human being?
Multiple times. Also recently, when you said, hey, no one messages us, I messaged you saying, hey, I messaged you. And you didn't respond.
We literally have the receipts.
We'll show them later. Let's keep going.
Talking about like you can't just come in and you're like, I don't know you. but no,
So
but they're not
it's
coming in with instead
crazy.
like, hey, I was curious as to how this was done. Could you tell me? Because again,
In other words, what she's saying, guys, unless you ask her, how was this done, she's not going to respond to you. So if you ask, hey, do you want to make a statement on this? You ask her nicely, you're not treating her like a human being, and you're a bad person, and she's not going to respond to you.
there's so much to say. There's so much interesting stuff. And there are frustrations. There are times when I have been like, oh, I'm going to leave this project because I hate working on this aspect of it or something like this. It's not always, it's not always perfect, but it's certainly never, it's never the way that they imagine it. And I think that that's the learning, is that it's imaginary for them and it's just my life. So while they're doing that, I just have to do my job.
So
There, dear.
what is next for Sweet Baby Inc?
Well, we have a lot of little secrets that are emerging. We have a title coming out in the next couple of months. We have another title that you might also see, and I won't name any of them. I will simply say
I won't ask, don't worry.
of fun and secret projects that you may or may not see over the next 2 years. Some of which I suspect will make certain people very mad, and others.
Yeah, guys, there's other things coming out, but she's not going to tell you what they are, and they'll make you mad. So how are we supposed to be mad if you won't tell us?
And I think that for me is the only real victory in it. Like there's never gonna be any victory in like, oh, I got back at them by writing something on Blue Sky or whatever. It's
Oh, you mean on your Blue Sky account that says to be determined on Blue Sky? Yes, I know about that account, Kim.
Yes, Kim, if you want to hide the fact that you're on Blue Sky, don't follow your employees.
Also, don't have the Sweet Baby Inc. account follow your account. It kind of gives it away, just so you know.
it's I'm going to
We're
keep
almost done.
working, and either you can keep being angry at that, or one day you can say, hey, how did you do that?
How'd you ruin all these games, Kim? I suck. Okay, thank you, Kim.
I'll answer. I'll happily. That's the thing. I will talk to anybody who wants to get into this industry.
Okay, Kim. So when I asked you, when I said, hey,
you'll
can you
talk
make...
to anybody, but you won't answer my husband.
So let me get this straight, Kim. No one's approached you like a human being, but YouTubers have approached you, but who cares about them? But you will talk to anybody who wants to get involved in this industry, except that they're YouTubers you don't like.
Meaningfully, if we want to have a human conversation about what this actually is, that's what I'm here to do.
You've never done it.
But I think that's just it's rare, but we'll see how it goes.
Like the video, break the algorithm style, share with your crew. Escape life's hell, from spooky memes to advice obscure. Here's your dark solace of humor as a cure.